So Leo, your week commencing the 16th of December forecast begins with the energy of last week's full moon, still very much to the fore. Full moons create a backdrop for the following 2 weeks, and because that happened right at the end of last week, it's still palpable. And for you, it was in your sector of connections, networks, friendships, but also your long-term plan. Now, Jupiter, the planet of opportunity, is also in that part of your chart, albeit in retrograde, and by the end of this week, forges an absolutely beautiful link to Venus, the planet of relating. But the key is, Leo, is that these two planets are known as the greater Jupiter and lesser Venus benefic. So in traditional astrology, they're all about good fortune. So that's something to really savour. But there is a deeper strand to this week, because as the full moon occurred, so Mercury, the planet of communication, went direct in your sector of more immediate sociability, how you express yourself, your charisma, but the area that's very much to do with romance. So if there have been some cross wires, those could be ironed out this week, but we need to be mindful the Sun continues along with Mercury in that area, but is challenged by Neptune right at the heart of this week. Now, Neptune is a beautiful influence, and it can be very uplifting in a spiritual dimension, but it can also create absolute confusion. And if you do feel that someone around you, be it in a romantic context or a friend, is a bit too clingy or draining, or tends to get a bit jealous if you want to do things with different people, that could be something that really sticks in your craw. And here's the thing, Jupiter actually squares 2 with Saturn, like Neptune in that 8th house. So this is going to be a week when you may seek to break free of someone who's holding you back from having that connection to your higher purpose. In fact, Jupiter and Saturn will reach the peak of their square next week, and that's one of astrology's mightiest structural influences, because Jupiter's go and Saturn can be no, just in very simple terms. So as much as we have got that divinely fortunate link between Jupiter and Venus at the end of this week, we have to be mindful Jupiter's retrograde. It's also in a sign where it's detrimented, and we're also dealing with the confusion that Neptune created on the back of that full moon. So things are a bit murky about your future. I feel by the end of this week and the Sun's ingress into Capricorn with the winter solstice, your desire to grapple with the details of things is going to really increase. And also because that event squares up with the North Node in the part of your chart to do with personal freedom, suggests that if you do feel that someone's maybe a little bit inhibiting of what you want to get from your life long term, it could be somewhat of a crunch point. But it's also true that the 11th and 5th house energies can be extremely sociable, and hopefully Saturn and Neptune will not be providing such a challenging input into your personal situation. But one of the things with the Sun moving into Capricorn, as it does each time this year, is it reminds you of what you've learned and all the commitment and sacrifices you've made since 2008 with Pluto in Capricorn. But if you really worked with Pluto and helped to evolve, the chances are as you enter the festivities, that part of you that does like to make sure that everyone has a good time, you like to make sure that every need of theirs is met, but you also now know it's important for other people to pitch in and do their bit too, because if it all falls to you, that creates a sense of resentment. And this is where Venus can be very good for you in that link to Jupiter, because if you need to use a slice of diplomacy to get other people to pitch in to do their bit, the chances are that you can. Have a great week, Leo, and please do check out your year 2025 personal forecast and get your free gift of your Zodiac General, Love, Chinese and Vedic written forecast.